Hello, this is Greg Allison of Green Gregs, coming to you on 31st of May, 2021. Time on deck is 5,900 hours Central Daylight Time. This is an open letter to the Chinese people, to the people of China, specifically to the people of mainland China, the People's Republic of China, who live today under the power of the Chinese Communist Party. Chinese people are beautiful people, smart, industrious. Chinese people have shown lots of capacity, capability. They're good people in all lands. In all lands, you find good and bad. You find people with good hearts, with good intentions, people who will give you the shirt off their back. Smart people. People of Chinese descent, culture, and race live today under two different systems from the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China. They're still Chinese, both, but different in governance. That's all. But that just shows that China has a lot, the people of China have a lot of diversity, a lot of capacity, a lot of capability. But specifically, again, I'm addressing the people of the People's Republic of China, because things have been a bit of a roller coaster for you of late. Remember the salad days, the youthful, innocent days of the post-Mao socialist modernization era, when China began to embrace a capitalist top market, when China began to change economically in the late 80s, especially in the 90s, and as we may know that China really took this on just before they were accepted in the World Trade Organization. So what was the world like then? Think about it. Everybody wanted to do business with China. Everybody was excited by China. China was the up and coming thing. Everybody wanted to trade with China. Everybody was anxious to know more about China, to have Chinese culture, to learn about it, to experience it. It was a great curiosity, great hope and enthusiasm to see China growing and flowering. New possibilities began to occur to people. Wasn't that a great day, a great era? Didn't you have a great feeling about that? I'm sure you did. Although, even to this day, many Chinese people are still left behind in poverty. There's still a long way to go. But somewhere along the way, there was a speed bump. Things have recently taken a bit of a turn. And that turn could really take a downturn in terms of how the rest of the world sees you today. Now, sure, when you got your leader telling you that hey, this land belongs to you and that land belongs to you and this belongs to you and that belongs to you, it might give you a sense of pride and you might buy into that and think, yeah, and look into the rationalization. You rationalize anything if you really want to. Doesn't make it right or true. But, might also tends to win out a lot of times in areas of global or regional discourse, but that does not make right. And it breeds resentment. There's a lot of resentment of the Uyghur people. There's a lot of resentment of the Tibetans, and even Mongolians. Today, it's beginning to brew, it's beginning to fester, and of course, the state media won't say much about it, and it's been papered over. But those, there's bigger fish to fry here. There's bigger things to talk about in the world and what may be coming. Gosh, if I could just go back to the 30s, the late 30s. How about August of 1939, Germany, just before the European advent of World War II, which occurred when the Germans invaded Poland the first day of September 1939. If you went back to, a few days prior to that, the German people were riding high. They had come out of an economic depression. They had come out of an era where they had a boot on their neck from the rest of Europe that held their economy down by the treaties that ended World War I. And suddenly their economy was booming. Things were looking up. They were being told they were the greatest people on earth. Their economy was soaring. If you had told those people at that point that in 5 years, their nation would lay in a smoking rubble of waste, that their cities would be bombed out wasteland, that they would be utterly destroyed, they wouldn't believe it. But don't you wish you could go back and tell them that? Don't you wish you could say, hey guys, man, you don't want to go there. You know, this guy, he's leading you into a bad spot. You need to have a look at this guy. You know, he's saying all these great things, oh, great orator, great speech maker. Xi Jinping, there's nothing of the great orator or speech maker that Mr. Adolf was of the day. But yet, you know, you're probably, you know, he's probably festering up some pride in you. Some of you fear what he's done, I'm sure, and can see and sense that it might be leading to things that aren't so good. But, you know, you need to think about this. Stop, pause, think. Where are you going? Where are things running in this world today? Where is it taking you? Now, I even talked to the members of the Chinese Communist Party. You need to also take heed. Yeah, you got to show loyalty to being a party. You got to click your boots and look good, the man on top. But where's it really taking you? How much of this can you really handle? My friends, around the world and in China, the People's Republic of China, the Chinese Communist Party even. Stop, look, take heed, pull yourself back to the 100,000 foot level. Disembody yourselves from what you're feeling at the moment and look at it from a higher level, what's happening really in the world. Take off the rose-colored glasses that you've been propagandized to believe. Yeah, we are all propagandized. We all have our rose-colored glasses. Let's not get into that discussion right now. And it's true. But you need to stop and really think where things are hurtling right now. Because world opinion is rapidly turning against you. Rapidly. Even without the bug going around that's gone around and the whole world got locked down over, which may really bring a lot of animosity to you. Just a new assertiveness of China. 9-dash line. Assertiveness against Southeast China, excuse me, the South China Sea. The assertiveness against Japan, East China Sea. The assertiveness against India. Maybe it makes you feel good, look good. Hey, how many of you mamas and papas, you only got one son, he's out there in the military forces. Do you really want him going through a meat grinder to serve some highfalutin political purpose? How much better off would you be if the world were continuing as it did in those salad days I referred to, of the post-Mao social modernization of China? How much better would you be if everybody was just loving to be there and trade with you? But what's happening now? People are stopping, like how you know, you're getting shut down from a lot of markets. People are pushing back and more and more. Yeah, surely you sanction and put tariffs on nations like Australia, but it's backfiring on you. They really don't want anything to do with where you were sending them. All over the world, nations are beginning to build their militaries. They're beginning to react. They're reacting to the leadership of your party, of your nation, of the CCP. And the reactions are somewhat less than enthusiastic, somewhat less than absolutely loving. The consequences could be catastrophic globally for you and everybody else on this planet. All because of ambition. I've done a lot of videos on my channel talking about how no one really owns somebody else. They're mine, because we had some cultural connection like that. These people are mine. Even though they may be saying, hey, we don't want no part of your system. We like things just like they are. We got no reason to be knuckled under to your totalitarianism. Why should people go for that? Yeah, okay, you've had an economic miracle. You still seem to be somewhat strong. How long was that going to last? And how much better could that economic miracle have been if you had real freedom? Look at Hong Kong. Look at Taiwan. Look how well they did. It's much smaller nations. They were doing well before you ever did well. Look at Singapore, a nation with no natural resources, who had huge, because of the economic freedom they had an economy just boom, 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 boom. Totalitarian systems around the world generally do very poorly. Look in Venezuela. Totalitarian systems sometimes do well for a brief period of time, and then they crash. So where are you really going? You're looking for this great 100th anniversary in 2049 with other goals between now and then. You really think all that's going to happen if you continue with aggressions that are happening today? Oh no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not trying to make light on aggressions that my country has made. And other countries. No, I'm not trying to go there. I'm talking about what you're dealing with right now. And no, I don't justify any of those others either. I've talked against the fact that our CIA deposed the Shah, the elected president of Iran, and put in the Shah. The dullest crowd that was in charge of the CIA really made a lot of poor choices in our nation here in the United States is paying for it to this day. Okay, well, we had that coming. Hopefully we can find some way to work that out. Conflict is awful. The kind of conflicts that's ruining the world today, the potential conflicts can be catastrophic. But even without that, let's just say we don't get into a conflict. Where are you? How do you expect your economy can continue to be? How much better do you think your economy would be if you weren't dealing with these things? And maybe it's already too late because a certain bug got out and went around. And people are beginning to look at your country. They're beginning to look at the lab in Wuhan and ask a lot of questions. And suddenly y'all getting really punitive to people doing this. The reactions are off the charts, which is kind of like you're trying to cover something up. It's almost like the guilty bully. Yeah, the guilty bully. And that's the way China's beginning to look. People are starting to look harder. The more y'all push back that way, the more people are looking. What? Bad reaction. It could lead to China, People's Republic of China, being on the hook for major reparations around the world because the whole world just went into major lockdown. Economic losses are severe. And a lot of people are no longer with us today. A lot of people that people love, members of their family, like my older brother, who is no longer in my family because he passed away due to a certain bug. And a lot of people could get really mad if they hear that certain things, or if they come to believe certain things come out of a lab, as seems to be indicated of late by many. Seems to be. I'm not saying anything declarative here, but this could also have huge blowback on your country. And that may be already something that, it may be unavoidable at this point, but that could just be the first shoe to drop. How many more shoes do you want to drop? If you continue with the current power regime, other shoes may drop too. You need to think about it. Where are you going? What are you doing? Do you want us to head down this path? Do you want to stay down this path? You were on a path for a while that had the world entranced. Wow, look at China. Wow, how awesome. You could be there again. Go there, I would suggest you follow and embrace the example of the Republic of China, your brethren who are also Chinese in Taiwan. How about you just let the CCP just go away? How about just ending that government and joining the Republic of China? Or setting up something like that. That would be the way to unify China, not through some military conquest. How's the world going to react to that? Do you really want to chance it? Yeah, you got all these weapons, you can do all this, that, and the other. Yeah, right, I'll beat your chest, ha ha. Really? Do you know what that means? Do you know where it could lead? Do you know what the consequences are? Are they worth it? Is it worth it to contain and control these other people over here, risking your whole world? How's that worth it? How is that worth it? Really? Really? Seriously? That's a crazy, egocentric, obsession that serves no one at all. Do you serve somebody by taking them over, by conquest of them? No, you don't serve them by it. Does it really serve you? It can come back to get you in time. Maybe sooner than later, especially with the world being hyped up on the tensions that's on today, especially if the world's already mad because of a certain bug it went around. That may just make it worse, far worse. Do you want to keep going down this road? I ask you. I'm just asking you to think, to ponder, and to wonder what else could have been in your future. What can be your future? You could still have a bright, wondrous future. China could still lead humanity. Look, you got over 1 billion people there. Your population might be starting to decline again, but you've got still got over 1 billion people. Like 1.34 billion people. You have more people graduating from engineering school than we have college graduates in America. You have people that could accomplish great things. You could once again make the world step back and go, ooh, ah. Remember the days when American companies like Apple were just chomping at the bit to come to your country? It could come back. It could come back. And you could be proud of it. You could be proud of those things. Proud of setting an example for the world to follow, which you absolutely could do, instead of making the world angry. Has America made the world angry? Sure. Sure. Is that excusable? No. But you are in a particular situation right now, and you've got a crossroads, a window of opportunity to think about it. Personally, I think all these big governments are, should be a thing of the past. Anachronistic. Some people think we should go to global governance. That's the worst thing anybody can imagine. I think national governments are too big. State governments are too big. Yeah, about the right size government might be the county, re-electing a sheriff and a judge. It's about all anybody needs. Governments are, what do they really give us in the long run? Fighting each other. We got to get over that. We can't survive as a human species if we brew hatred. You can't, if you're out there in any country, United States or Israel, Iran, China, Russia, Ukraine, any country that's fomenting any type of hatred is doing a disservice to mankind. We can't survive as a species if we continue this. I did a video on some time back about an atom bomb in every pot. Yeah, we can't survive if we continue down this road, guys. We got to learn to get along. So, yeah, and what I say to you goes to many other countries, all nations, really. This is a message ultimately to all nations. Where are we really going? What does it really gain us? How can we re-establish this conversation? But as long as there's a person at the helm of a nation who's really threatening other nations and making them feel like he's wanting to subvert them, it's hard to hold that conversation. It's hard for everybody just to stand down from howling to the knees at things called nations. Okay, so I want to challenge you, people of China, be the change that you want to see. What do you really want in your future? Just stop, think, listen, take yourself to the next higher level and listen. Yeah, I know this news don't get into China. This would definitely be something they would block. But many of you are here in the United States. You're on travel. You can see this. You're on travel in many different nations, and you can see my video. And some of you will be watching. I know this. I think China's admirable. I think the culture is admirable, very admirable, admirable, excuse me. I've dated Chinese ladies. I handed the club over that I ran for decades to a Chinese American. So something I held dear to me is like my baby, that club was. That's for Alabama L5 Society. Yeah, I was a founder. See that, guys? This is our 30-year commemoration held back in 2013. There's a baby. Oh, I'm about to break my big monument here. Fortunately not. Shatter or crack. Wow, that's close. Trying to make a point. Trying to make a point. Look, with that organization and things we done, I got the Space Pioneer Award. No, this is a major event. I'm listed on in Wikipedia for this award. So, yeah, I take that serious. And that tells you how much I admire Chinese people. But I do not admire the CCP. Not at all. I do not admire communism. I especially do not admire Xi Jinping. I do not admire him. I think it's tragic, the ego that he's displaying and his ambitions. When you get to the top like that, your view of the world gets very twisted when you get that powerful. You get a God complex. You think you can do anything, and think you're justified in doing it. He believes it. He believes he's justified in doing this. Look where he's taking humanity. Into the malls, a great conflict if we're not very careful. And if, at the very least, he's taken the world, he's taken China into a place where you're not going to be as loved or as popular. Think what's happened in the streets in California, that great pinnacle of social justice and racial leaven where they are beating the crap out of Oriental people, Asian people. That's not a good thing. It's a horrible thing. It's terrible if that happens. Nobody should be attacking someone on the basis of race at all, anywhere, anytime. That's horrible. But what that says is how people are feeling toward China. That's not the proper reaction by any shape, form, or imagination. I do not condone it. I definitely am against that, because they're picking on innocent people who they don't know, who has nothing to do with what's going on there. Like I've always said, there's good people in every country, from every race, city, hamlet, religion. There's good people, and they just don't know what they're doing. Like Jesus Christ said when he's nailed to the cross, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Except I'm not Asian, so it's not my place to ask for forgiveness of people beating upon Asians. I think it's horrible. So think about where you are, where you're going. One thing I want to point out for you. When I was a kid, second grader in school, I was something of a rebel. When the teachers leave the classroom, I'd turn around and tell the other students, guys, we don't have to do this. There's more of us than there are them. No, there's 35 of us in this class. There's only one teacher. That's what I was saying when I was in second grade. In second grade. All the other kids just look at me like I was from Mars. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. But think about this. There's so many of you. The government can only exist and do what it's doing by you acquiescing to it. They cannot. You can stop it. You can change the course of your government. You can make your government go bye-bye. You can make your government, if enough people in your country so chose, you could make your government go poof. Because if enough people rose up, I don't care how strong it is, how totalitarian it is, all the social credit and everything they got, none of it could withstand the concerted will of the people. You can change your government. You can have freedom economically and personally. You know, take a look over the Republic of China again, Taiwan. Might be something there for you. Okay, just think about it. Just think about it. Chew on it, sleep on it. Maybe I made you mad. I'm just trying to reach out to find a new way to establish peace. Following somebody who wants to incite war is not a road to peace in your country or mine or any other. And with that, I'm going to say to everyone watching, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, bring the update notification bell and click all. I bring a lot of videos. I'm sure I made a lot of Americans mad at me, just like I made a lot of people in China mad at me. You know, people in China start listening, thinking about it, it'd be a big change. Oh, maybe I should share one thing. One thing. Let me do a quick little share here. Where do I want to go? What this article says. China's crisis. Xi Jinping could be overthrown as a certain lab leak theory gains momentum. You know, I say certain. I'm trying not to trip up things on my channel like this. That's what I was talking about earlier. So those people are already talking about it. We've already got generals in America saying, "Hey, we should basically nationalize and reclaim all our debt to China. Or, you know, China's, you know, that we should absolve ourselves of the debt that we owe China, that we owe to China." Excuse me. Anyway, no said of that. It could go way beyond that. Countries could say, "Hey, well, this Belt and Roads Initiative, look what was done to us about this bug. That stuff's ours. Forget it. We'll nationalize it. All these foreign investments and all the you made in all these countries, they might just say, this stuff's ours. Forget about it." You know, and look how Hawaii's been rolled back. Oh well. Yeah, these are the kind of things that could happen. Like I said, and that's just the first shoe to drop. Just the first. It could get far worse. Once again, think back. August 1939. Everybody in Germany was riding high. 5 years later, smoke and rubble. Of course, it may not just be one country, it may be the whole world. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Really? The alternative? Like I said, the salad days. The salad days. Everybody was in love with China. Remember that? There's your choices. Think about it. Chew on it. Sleep on it. Think about it. Well, that I'm going to say, have a wonderful year. Goodbye.